Who wins Game 6 tonight?
I think it's the Miami Heat. I don't think there's any question in my mind. I mean, I thought the series would go 7 games. I'm standing by that based on what we've seen in this series. It's been back and forth, back and forth. Only 2 times the 2-3-2 format through the first 5 games have teams going back and forth, failing to win consecutive games. But obviously 2 times that Game 6 ended up being one of the teams that would win it all, and they would win 2 games in a row. And I don't think that will be the case tonight. I think the San Antonio Spurs will lose tonight because the level of urgency is attached to the Miami Heat. I think LeBron James, D. Wade, and those boys understand they're on the brink of elimination, and they're on the brink of something just as great. When we talk about legacy, when we talk about the big 3, when we talk about all the prognostications that were thrown out there, the expectations, the reality is that they've got to stand up and deliver. And it's a lot harder to do in a Game 7 than it would be to do in a Game 6. Even though San Antonio might come out like sharks in blood-infested waters, smelling blood, if Miami comes out and plays their game, which I believe they will, I think Skip is absolutely right when he points to Greg Popovich sort of conserving energy. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that there's not 2 days rest here. You don't go all out. If this were a Sunday night game and then the next game was Wednesday night, that would be different, like times in the past, or a Thursday night or what have you. But this is Sunday and then Tuesday and then Thursday. And keep in mind, the start time for the games are like 8:30, 9 o'clock. And the game ends at about 11:30, midnight. You got all your interviews and everything like that. So you really don't have 48 hours rest. It's really less than that, okay? When you take that into account, conserving your energy for a potential Game 7, I think will be pivotal. So I think San Antonio will come out trying to exploit the Miami Heat, but I think the Miami Heat won't budge. They'll send a message that we are here and we have every intention of pushing this to the brink on Thursday night. I think ultimately, I don't want to use the word fold in a negative connotation to the San Antonio Spurs because certainly they deserve our profound respect. But I think on a night like tonight, I don't just expect the Miami Heat to win. I expect them to explode, similar to what they did in Game 2. In my opinion, there will be a Game 7.
You used the word yesterday in San Antonio, annihilation tonight. You sticking with it?
Yes, I am.
So give me a score.
I would say somewhere along the lines around 17 to 18 points, but it'll be worse than that. It's just that, you settle it, garbage time comes.
You would characterize that as annihilation.
I think at some point in time, the Miami Heat will be up close to 30. And then ultimately, the reserves will come in garbage time and chip it down a little bit. I'm going to predict the Miami Heat 108-88.
Okay. I hate to start the show off agreeing with you, but I do agree this could get ugly tonight. I'm looking for your basic, and this is a score I wrote down, 95-75. It will be over quickly, over in the second quarter. And yet, Stephen A., we both picked Spurs in 7, as Kerry just said. I will be the first to admit to you today that as a Spurs supporter, I would dearly love for them to close this out tonight. And I'll be the first to say, I've been critical of Popovich before along these lines when it comes to resting players. If I were coaching the San Antonio Spurs tonight, I would ask my guys, my big 3, my starters, to go for the throat by stepping on the psychological throat of the Miami Heat. I would tell my guys, this is just me, I would tell my guys, we have them on the mental ropes. We have LeBron James doubting himself both inside and outside the paint after he missed those layups in the second half and went 2 for 11 in Game 5. And this team is so desperate now, I would tell my team, they're going to make a lot of rotation changes. I think we'll see more Birdman, we'll see Haslam, we'll see less Mike Miller. We'll see desperation, as you just say, on the part of the Heat. I would tell my guys, let's finish this tonight, because after all, it is the NBA Finals, and we are up 3 games to 2. Let's go for it. That's not Greg Popovich. That's why I'm not Greg Popovich, because you know and I know. We had Avery Johnson on the show yesterday.
Yes, it was yesterday.
And he said that he and Pop talk after every game. And he said they had discussed this after Game 5. And he is expecting, he's not trying to put words in Pop's mouth, but he's expecting a very quick hook tonight at the first sign of early trouble. It could be in the second quarter that Pop will throw in the towel and pull out his starters.
I didn't recall Avery saying that. But
well, I'm just saying that it's going to be a quick hook.
But what I'm saying to you is this. I think you're underestimating LeBron James. I think you're underestimating D. Wade. And I think you're underestimating the impact that losing in 6 games to the Dallas Mavericks 2 years ago on their home court at this same American Airlines Arena, the kind of impact that had on this team. Now, obviously, a Game 7, everything changes because, I mean, it's a Game 7. And there's just something about Game 7s that are just riveting in the world of professional basketball. I mean, you find out that the boys separate from the men in that regard.
Yeah.
All right. But in a Game 6, you know, to me, the level of desperation gets attached to the Miami Heat. And I'm telling you, after the performance that I saw LeBron James put forth against Boston last year in that Game 6 of that Eastern Conference Finals, I'm not sleeping on this brother. I'm just not. Those days are over. I think that he will respond in kind. I think that it's one thing, Skip, to be a bit discombobulated and a bit confused, not seeing what a team is throwing at you, the way that San Antonio plays. 1 minute they're manned up, another minute they're in the zone, they're collapsing on him in the post, and then you put a guy with a big caboose, as you would so eloquently state it, like a Boris Diaw.
Caboose.
Like a Boris Diaw in the post by himself on a particular play or what have you. I think there is a difference between being confused and being diminished by the totality of the moment. I think in the past, you could look at LeBron and you could make an argument that he shrunk in the big moments.
Make an argument? I mean, beyond that, I mean, it was a fact.
I haven't seen that from him. As far as I'm concerned, in the last 2 seasons, I've seen bad games, I've seen bad plays, but I haven't seen
you
him.
yourself said he was tentative last game.
Well, but what I'm saying to you is that you're tentative, you're passive. That's not shrinking. You just need to be more aggressive. I'm talking about literally shrinking in the past. I haven't seen that dude in the last 2 years. I don't believe we will ever see it again, and I certainly don't believe we're going to see it tonight.
Okay, I'm not underestimating LeBron and Dwayne Wade. I might even be overestimating. I agree with everything you just said. They're going to come out like unholy terrors tonight, which is why Pop will be quick to say, okay, I give up. And what has he done for 16 years with Tim Duncan? He's built a bond of deep love with all of his big 3 players, with all of his stars, by resting them, by taking his foot off their gas, by saying, save it up for me, refill your tanks, then give me every last drop in Game 7.
But he did that during the regular season.
He's done it all. He's done it in the postseason before.
But listen, that was years ago. He hasn't done it in recent memory in the postseason.
Trust me, I've watched this man and observed him very closely for a very long time. I believe in his heart of hearts, this is just my opinion of from a distance.
Sure.
If he had his way tonight, if he thought he could get away with it, I think he wouldn't play the big 3 for 1 minute tonight. He would just ask them, save yourself for one all the marbles Game 7.